My name is Kris Krohn, and today we're talking about how to achieve early retirement. When I graduated college by the age of 26, I actually quit my job, I was done with school, and I was financially free. How did I do it? More than how I did it, there was one particular rule that I chose to live by that really shifted and changed everything. Today, I'm gonna share with you what that rule is, and at the end of this video, I'm also gonna share with you my exact system for how I create predictable wealth in and out over and over again, blah, 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 blah.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
So check it out. The biggest problem that we have in the world today is that people have lost motivation. And I can't blame them. I mean, think about it. Who wants to become financially free if it's all of this hard work and you're missing life and you're not really getting to live life on your terms that entire time? Because the old school thinking was you just have to pay your dues and you have to work hard for 10 years before you can even get a start, and you should just work and save and work and save. And you know what the truth is for a lot of people? It is. But this is what I want to teach you today. If you will actually take your motivation and your energy level to a higher plane, you can actually bend time, collapse time, and achieve so much more in a much smaller period of time. Like, think about this for just a moment. Right now, the world that we live in today, most people, listen, I'm kind of going off script here. Technically, I'm always off script. But here's what I want you to understand, is that there is a certain amount of energy that is required to make something happen. For example, what is the boiling point of water? There is a 1 degree difference where if you don't actually get that final degree, all you're gonna get is steam. But 1 degree will make the difference in water boiling over. You know, for you to actually get out there and make real estate happen and build wealth, it doesn't have to be hard work. For me, making money is like crazy easy. But what I've learned is how to actually break through this threshold right here that most people aren't. And here's what I want you to understand. What you know about real estate won't make the difference. What does make the difference is your personal energetic levels. And what I'm talking about with personal energy is, I want to talk about 2 words. I want to talk about E, energy, and I want to talk about E, emotion. You see, most people actually stay in a very low emotional state. We allow ourselves to get sucked into other people's drama, or we go into entitlements, or we go into victimhood, and we talk about how life's not fair, and this shouldn't be given to me, and someone shouldn't have done this thing to me, and someone, bullied me this way. And if you allow the negative experiences of life to pull your own energy down, I mean, think about the way most people look when you talk with them. Most people you connect with, what do? Their shoulders are slumped forward, their head is bent down, their breathing is shallow, and it's almost like they're in survival mode, just doing everything that they can to keep themselves barely alive and emit as low energy as possible. And then when we talk with people, it's not charismatic. It's like, hey, how are you doing today? Tell me about you. It's like the energy, it's just not enough energy to make water boil. It's not enough energy to make anything happen. I look at my life and it's like, why do I have so many good things happening? Why am I closing so many deals? Why am I buying real estate every single day? It's because my energy is infectious and people want me. They want to do business with me. They want to do things with me. In life, you have to decide for yourself what kind of energetic human being you're going to be. I am not talking about being positive for the sake of being positive. I'm actually talking about the fact that like energy attracts like energy. You've heard of the law of attraction. Bottom line is, if you choose to have a bad day because something happened you don't like, then you're going to attract more things that equal a bad day. But when it hits the fan and life's hard, if you just rise above it and realize, hey, this is just part of life, this is what goes down, and you shift into a different energy state, then what ends up happening is you're going to attract a better, more positive energy to you. And here's what I want you to know. Money has a really high frequency when you're earning it legitimately. And so it's going to be attracted to people that, and people that have the opportunities, because it's not money itself. I mean, right now, I just kicked off a new business that is making me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's requiring a few hours of my time. It's crazy easy, and it's fun. I'm having a great time. And that's because I've learned that there's a certain level of energy required to get what you want. So a couple of things I want you to know about energy and emotion. The first one is the money is up here. It's in a high energy state. And in a low energy state, you have problems. Low energy creates and enhances problems, makes them worse than they are, and really high energy, it solves problems. And often, when you solve problems, you know what you get as a result? You get money. Which is why when people start finding me, if you're new to my YouTube channel here, one of the things that I'm going to recommend, a copy of this book that I give out for free. It's called The Straight Path to Real Estate Wealth. It's me basically saying, guys, making money is easy. There's rules. I'll give you all of the rules in here. I'll even show you how to do it, literally from A to Z. And I have people that will read this book, follow the system, and then they'll make $50,000. And then they're like, Kris, thank you so much for giving me the rules. But for everyone that gets the rules and follows them, there's a bunch of people that don't. And do you know why those people who follow the rules don't get the results? Because the amount of energy that it takes to make an exciting, hot real estate deal happen doesn't resonate with this. It doesn't work. You need to know that. If you will actually make it a point to study successful people, you're gonna know that whether you perceive them as positive or negative, they emit massive amounts of energy, and they typically have a really positive can-do attitude. Because guess what? The other attitude is just gonna defunk things and tear you to pieces. The biggest reason why people aren't living the level of life that they want or the financial freedom is because they're not emitting enough energy. Now, once I learned how to do this, I learned that energy and emotions are linked side by side. So here's what I mean by this. There's a frequency to all emotion. So depression or sadness has a very low frequency. Depressed people talk slow. They blink slow. They're usually horizontal in bed. They're sitting, they're lethargic, they're sad. It's a very low energy state. Now you take something like anger, anger is a different frequency. You know, it's usually a faster frequency, but it's channeling a negative outcome. It's channeling a negative energy. Now, if you take joy, if you take excitement, if you take freaking happy, or even if you just take peace, just the stillness of being and being content and acceptant with everything going on in your life, those are different frequencies. They connect directly to energy. Most of us need more energy. For example, let me put some different math on the screen. Success requires a certain amount of decisions. For example, let's say that I want to make $100. If I want to make $100 different than whatever my job would bring me, then I'm going to have to make some decisions. Like, I'm going to do a lemonade stand today, and then I'm going to make $100 extra. That might require one decision. Maybe it'll require 5 decisions. You see, but when you say, you know what, I would like to make $1 million. Do you know how many decisions it's going to take to make $1 million? In most situations, you're probably going to have to make hundreds to tens of thousands of decisions. And each decision requires action. And action requires what? It requires energy. Dude, bottom line is, if you have sucky, stinky energy, you're not gonna get what you want in life. You're gonna get less. You gotta make more decisions. You gotta take more action. And then here's the cool thing. That doesn't have to equal hard work. We live in a day and age today where literally you can have so much more than you've ever had in the past. And more than anything, it's actually a function of technology. Like right now, if I wanna find a deal, I've got technology that will find my deals like this, like through PropStream if you've seen those videos. It's like I don't have to spend hundreds of hours going to the courthouse and like combing through papers and documents. Like we have unprecedented, unparalleled opportunity like never before. But the only people that are taking advantage of it, the only people that are getting to live life on their terms the way they want are the people that are bringing a consummate energy to it. Which is why when you come out to one of my events, now by the way, I want you to know, you can get this book for free. You can just click the link below in the description and get it. Let me give you the blueprint. Just know that you're gonna have to combine good energy. I was just in Hawaii for a week with one of my success students, and he's like, Kris, I followed the system, and then I made 50 grand, and then I did this other deal, and I made 80 grand, and I did this other deal, and I made 40 grand, and it's like, I made over $200,000. Quit his job, living a way happier life. He's brought belief and he also brought the proper energy. As in, when he talked to his first 10 people and it was a no answer, instead of getting discouraged, his good energy said what? I know how to cope with that rejection, and I'm gonna keep going. Because Kris said, I have to look at 100 deals. Well, guess what? He didn't have to look at 100 deals. He looked at 20, and then he found the deal. You'd never get to deal 20 if you brought stinking low energy that saw things as problems. You talk to someone and they say, no. I remember the first time I was in the game of real estate, and I was looking at this deal that was really, really hot, and this woman came to the door. This was actually the very first house that I bought. And when I approached her, I threw an offer out, and she gave me the grouchiest no I had ever heard in my life. And it was startling, like I was shocked, like, oof, you're like a very unpleasant human being. And I started thinking, why am I here? Why am I putting myself out here? Why am I even going after this? And I had to remind myself of my why, that I wanted to figure out what real freedom tasted like. I wanted to get off of life support. I wanted to figure out what it's like to live life my way, my terms. You know, reality is I just got back from Hawaii. I'm going in again in a couple of weeks. I'm then going to Miami. This year I've been to a half a dozen different countries. And I live this amazing life where I don't do any business prior to noon, just about every single day of the week. I do the work that I want to do. I'm working hard on my Taekwondo. I'm giving my kids a custom education, training them in the world, not a public school system. And I'm living this life that I've designed for myself. It is the most amazing level of freedom I've ever had. I get to make the money that I want. I get to travel the way I want. I get to travel first class. I get to drive the cars that I want. And I feel truly humbled. I feel really blessed. I feel like God has blessed me tremendously, but no different than he's willing to bless anybody. But to get those blessings, you got to hack the system. And I think humility, I think, is a part of the system. The other part of the system is that you've got to learn how to command and control your feelings. So I want you to take inventory of your emotions and your energy. Do you have high energy right now? Do you have low energy? How often do you feel peace, joy, love versus how often do you feel sadness, anger, and depression? Like if you were to take an entire day and like split it apart, and like on this side, you know, we can make a list here and like just do this simple math with me. Over here, this is called a negative emotion because it takes away. This is a positive because it adds. So on this side, we're going to put apathy, which is just an energy of I don't care. We're going to put sadness, anger, anxiety, worrying about the future, depression, thinking really sad thoughts about the past. You know, what percentage of the day do you spend here? Then on this side, if we were to take excitement, peace, love, joy, enthusiasm, just being happy. What percentage of the day do you spend here? Now, if you're like most people, your numbers are going to look something like this, and I want you to judge yourself. For example, some people, they're literally 50-50. Half the time, I'm doing great, and I'm generally happy and feeling good about my life. And the other half of the time, I feel really crappy, and I don't like what's going down or the way someone's treating me. I'll meet some people that are like, oh, it's negative most of the time, but I've got a few bright spots. And then I got some people that are like, I deal with sadness just a little bit here and there, but I'm happy most of the time. Here's what I want you to know about this math right here. Whether you're 50-50, 80-20, or 20-80, it all equals for me the exact same thing. No result, as in you're not going to get what you want. If you're trying to get out there and do real estate deals, you're not going to get enough. Why? Because 20% of negativity, that's what you're going to do when things don't go your way. But if you can zap that, and here's the goal. It's not very realistic unless you get some training on this. The goal is, how do I go 0 on the negative, and how do I get to 100% on the positive? Now, I'm not perfect at this, but I've been striving for perfection for a long time on it, and here's what I can honestly tell you. You hang out with me, you're gonna find that I feel I'm balancing somewhere between contentment and peace and excitement and happiness, and I'm there almost all the time. I do that for 2 reasons. I'm telling you to do it so that you can get more results and you can actually get more financial freedom, because listen, good energy plus this system is gonna make you money. But the bigger reason for doing this is that there's something that we all want more than money. See, the thing that we really want more than that is that we just want to be happy. which means that you don't have to have money for happiness. Money doesn't necessarily buy it. But I will tell you that money becomes a very natural byproduct, more financial freedom, more opportunities. Because money for me is nothing more than more options. And bottom line is I really like having more options in life. That's important to me. So for me to have more options, I want more money. And if I want more money, then I've got to be happier. Money typically favors this higher energy that I'm talking about right here, because the more energy you have, the more decisions you make. And if you want to make a lot of money, you need to make a lot more decisions. You need to act on a lot more things. And it doesn't become hard work anymore, not in today's technology world. It's easier to make money than ever before. I think there's like a billionaire created like every 50 seconds now, and a millionaire is birthed every second somewhere on the planet, or even just I think in this country of America. Like, I don't know the real stat, but it's something crazy and ludicrous like that. So here's where I'm at. When you come to one of my events, one of the things that you're going to notice is that I'm going to give you a $1 million game plan. I'm going to give you financial training. I'm going to show you literally the systems for how to make money. But then I'm going to spend the other half of the time on how you manage a peak state, how you manage your energy, and how you perceive the world. I'm also going to show you how you alter your perception of the world so that all your limiting beliefs and bad experiences of the past can get washed out of the way so you can become hyper-conscious. My kids' school is called Conscious Creator Academy. And it's called that because it's about learning how to consciously create what you want instead of unconsciously reacting to what you've been dished up. If you've been disadvantaged in life, if you've had opportunity taken from you, if you've been beaten down, if you've been abused, if you've been raped, if you've been a victim, you don't have to allow your past to define any more of your future than you choose. You're going to have to get in control of your emotional state. Do it just for the love of life, because being happier is just a way better way, in my opinion. But then success follows that, because then you tend to have the energy required to solve problems and make more money. So friends, listen, that's my rule. That's the one thing that I'm really committed to, is controlling my energy through my emotions, and then just choosing by choice to be happy and live life on my terms. Thank you for watching today. I got 2 things for you to know about. In the links below, you can learn about, number 1, this book. There's a reason why I give it away for free. I give it away for free because I care about you. And if I never see you or do anything with you again, I believe you're better off with this book. I think it's the most powerful financial book that is realistically written for the beginner that wants to make money in real estate. My second thing for you to be aware of is there's also a link below to find out about my next event. I put them on every so often. I do them in my own convention center. And you're going to meet people from all over the world coming together. Yes, they want money. Yes, they want a better life. We're going to show you how to command your energy to a level to have what you want. And listen, if you watch this channel and you like what I'm doing here, here's the bottom line. I'm full of life and I'm full of energy, and I'm not taking any caffeine. I'm not on any steroids. I'm not on any drugs. I don't do anything for my mood. It's literally all created by me, and you can learn how to do that. It's a skill. So listen, it's a longer video today, but it was important, and I needed this message to get out to you because I wanted you to know the real secret to my success comes down to managing my energy, and the systems and the how, man, all of that stuff just follows good energy. We make good decisions. So thank you for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, like this video, comment what you think about it. It's different than some of my other videos that I've made in the past. Get yourself a copy of the book for free, and then click the other link and come out to one of my events. Get live with me. I promise you and can guarantee money back. It will be a life-changing experience, and your life will never be the same again.